This is a good question, but however, I did answer this. So I'm going to go over it just in case somebody else thinking the same thing, because I did too when I was in my early 20s. I say, God, why can't I just meet somebody who's on my level and we grow together, right? So here's this. Your fulfillment is not tied to a person, but your fulfillment is tied to a purpose, a God-ordained purpose, the call that God has on your life. Number two is this right here. We're all going through a cycle, which meaning your person may be going through a cycle as well. We have to go through a thing called purging, right? Because when you give your life to Christ, now we got to go through a purging. This is why I recommend you have that one-on-one with God, meaning that purging time, that purging season where God is changing in your life and molding you and shaping you, right? Because the Bible said you were dead. And here's another thing. You can meet somebody on your level, right? Meaning y'all think the same, y'all have the same beliefs, but that does not mean that y'all attitudes are good right now, because we done been through a lot of trauma. So like I say, we got to go through purging, because if you meet somebody nice, then guess what? You may self-sabotage. And how many of y'all have met people that are good for you, but yet you push them away because of your trauma, because of that self-sabotaging? So once again, we're trying to get some things out of season. This is why I talk about going through a cycle. This is why I say, go through what you need to go through with God one-on-one, because it's almost like the church always pushes everybody to get married, but I don't recommend it. I would recommend what Paul say is stay single so that you can do the work of the Lord. It is better to be single because you can focus on things a lot better, because like the Bible say, if you're married and have children, now you got to split your time with everything and everybody. Now you're stretching yourself thin. Nothing's wrong with it, but just don't try to do it out of season, because when you're doing it out of season, you're not equipped for that, equipped for your family. You're not equipped for that level. So this is why we end up having to grow up fast. Make sense? You see what I'm saying? Life, when it comes to life, we're in a rush. Everything is instant. And this is why the devil have his way with a lot of people, because don't nobody really want to go through that slow and study with God, because it takes too long. You want it now. So then you try to reason with God. Well, just send me somebody on my level and we can grow together. Once again, you're trying to be codependent on somebody, because you won't even move forward in your purpose without God sending you somebody. Think about how that sounds. Because if he did send you somebody, you're not going to focus on your purpose, because now you got a person in your life that you distracted with every day, and y'all doing the lovey-dovey stuff. So you ain't going to think about God. Come on now. Think about it. And let me add this. While you're going through the cycle, right, with God, he's shaping you, right? You're developing in life. And you try to tie yourself down with the first person because you think that this is the person for you, right? It is a good possibility that you're going to outgrow them, especially when you surrender to God, because you don't even know yourself yet. So you're going to outgrow a lot of people, family members, friends. You're going to outgrow so many people, and God is going to isolate you too. This is why I recommend you having that one-on-one with God first before you try to go out here and tie yourself down with somebody. Because when you start outgrowing them, you ain't going to want them. You're going to start to resent them. There are people who live like that right now, looking at the person they with like, you ain't it for me. You ain't enough of this. You ain't enough of that, because you done tied yourself to somebody in a season of your life where you were codependent. See, because like the Bible say, you were dead in your sin. So you codependent on everything and everybody. But when you give yourself to God, God frees you from all of that, right? And you're becoming stronger. And now you're seeing more about who you are. And then you're going to realize you don't even fit in with the people you dating. The person you going to bed with, you ain't going to want them no more, because you're outgrowing them, especially if they're not growing. So this has been over 10 years when I met my spiritual father. He prophesied to me and said, God say, stay on this level. And after this level, he's going to take you to another level. Finish this level first. I didn't know what that meant until I actually had to go through with it. It makes sense. And now that anything that God blessed me with, guess what? I know how to maintain it. But like I say, we be trying to get things out of season, and then we fumbling everything that we have in our hands, right? Because we're not strong enough to carry everything. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how to manage everything right now. But like I say, focus on your purpose in life, because when you're in alignment with God, everything that you praying for or that's in your heart, you're gonna come across that path. You're gonna cross that path in life. You don't have to cut no corners. God gonna lead you right to it. It is Satan that's gonna lead you, to a bunch of counterfeits in your life. And that's what's happening in the world, where everybody's meeting counterfeits. You meeting somebody that you think is your person. But like I say, even if you met your person, you're not going to be fulfilled, because your fulfillment doesn't come from them. It comes from your purpose that God has placed on your life. I want you to go back and listen to that message again. Your fulfillment is not going to be with this, from a person. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people tie their happiness to a person. This is why people are able to make and break you. This is why they can make your day good or make your day bad. Because everything is about them. If they call you, you feel good. If they don't call you, don't feel good. Your life is wrapped up in another person, so which meaning this person is your idol. And like I say, there are people who are married, right? But they're not happy. You know why? Because they're not fulfilled. And this is why a person in a marriage or a relationship can give and give and give and give. Have you ever just gave and gave and gave and it still wasn't enough? You know why? Because they got a hole in them. Because they're not fulfilled with the right things. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to fulfill themselves with different things. Come on. I'm preaching. Catch them diamonds. And this is why you can give a person so much and they're not happy, because they need to go somewhere and get along with God. To fulfill whatever that is right there, that void, they need to go get with God, because there's nothing you can do about it. You can give them everything in the world. It will never be enough, because that's not their purpose. You're not going to fulfill somebody that God has a purpose for them and they not living in it. There's nothing you can do to fulfill them. So once again, get in a relationship for what? Get in a relationship with somebody and y'all be believing the same things for what? But like I say, if you're not living in your purpose, it ain't going to be nothing. It ain't going to be nothing. But let me add, before I close this message, there are some people who meet and they grow together, right? That's not going to be a lot of people's story. And I think that's what majority of people want. You want to meet somebody and y'all do life together. Y'all go from the bottom to the top. But for the majority of us, it's not going to be that way. It's not going to be that way. God needs that alone time with you. He don't want nobody else involved. You see what I'm saying? While he's working on you, he's working on this other person too, that he's going to bring y'all to cross paths. I truly believe that, and I know that. And I also know that's what's happening in my own life. I've experienced it. So you stay focused on what God having you, working on right now. And like I say, everything else will come. But everybody's not going to have that story where they grow together and they blossom together. I know it's beautiful, because I've seen pictures of couples be together for many years and they both, glow up together. It's nice, but it's not going to be your story. And because you want it to be your story, you keep putting yourself in relationships with different people trying to have that turnout. And that's crazy, because you're going to hold yourself up, and that's what you've been doing. You see what I'm saying? It's at this point in life, you're getting too old and you done had too much experience to keep repeating the same things. And it's wild if you are repeating the same things. Just do it the way that God is having you to do it, so you can get to the things you want. Catch them diamonds.